Hey fellow PATH students, welcome to chapter 4 of the PATH, where I'm going to help you put together, we're going to build together your arguably the most profitable, most effective system to generate business long-term for you. Now maybe you claimed your golden ticket and you're getting the referral system ahead. That's fantastic. I'm excited to teach you how to get referrals on a steady, predictable basis, how to have it as a system. First, a little disclaimer, of course. I'm not implying you will achieve any results or do anything. I cannot make false promises like that. Numbers and examples are hypothetical, and you probably will not hit a home run on your first attempt. So don't be disappointed if nothing works perfectly from the beginning. It doesn't work that way. It's going to require a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of adjustment, and that's because of various factors. That's because your area may be slightly different, your personality, your experience, your clientele, your marketplace. There are all these factors that may have an impact on it. Now, with a little bit of tweaking, with some patience, monitoring what's working, what's not working, you can be up and running very, very quickly. So here's how this session works. Like all of our sessions, this is a classroom session. Please put away the distractions. Really pay attention to this session so that you can walk away with a lot of practical knowledge you can implement in your business immediately. Here's what I need from you. I want to make sure that the previous chapters, if this is in fact your fourth chapter and you're not claiming this is a golden ticket, that you're done with the previous homework, because we're going to build on your skills. We're going to build on the mindset that you learned in chapter 1. We're going to incorporate your confident communication that you learned in chapter 2, and we're going to incorporate the skills and the setup that we use to organize your time and a workflow in chapter 3. So these are very, very important. Do not study this until all the homework and all your assignments of the previous chapters are done. Cool? So if you're still here with me, if you're still on, that means you have completed it and we can move forward. Here's what we're going to cover today. How to build your referral business as a profitable business. How to be cool and pleasant to the people around you without being pushy or sleazy. There'll be no selling, no closing, no gimmicks, no bullshit, none of that stuff. Don't like it, don't want that to be put on me, and I don't want you to put on the people around your sphere. I'm going to show you practical strategies to expand your sphere of influence and how to have fun while you're still making money. This is one of the most enjoyable elements of your business because you're interacting with people who already know you, who like you, who trust you, or people who are recommended by those who like you and trust you. This is the book, this is the companion book to the program. You should have this, or it should be on the way to you. Use it. It has more checklists. It's intended as a handbook to go along with the materials we're going to cover here today. There are only 3 moving parts to your business. We've been through this before, but we need to start here. You need to focus on only 3 moving parts in order for you to have a profitable, successful real estate career. And that's number 1, to generate leads. Number 2, turn those leads into appointments. And number 3, turn those appointments into listings. If you strip down all the rest of the stuff, these are the 3 essentials, because as a successful agent, if you know how to get leads and you know how to turn those leads into appointments through follow-up, and if you know how to turn those appointments into good listings, how to communicate 1%, well, that's a good lifestyle. That's the whole formula. Constantly focus on these 3 things. Make these 3 things the essentials of your business. How do I get leads? How do I get appointments? And how do I get listings? Now, the cool thing, what we're going to cover today, makes this process much easier than all the others. Not that you should focus on this alone. Never put all your eggs in one basket, obviously. But this should be your foundation. Here's why. Let's start with some numbers. Let's start with some statistics so that you understand why this is such a profitable source. Here's a report from a National Association of Realtors. They put this together every year. It's called the Profile of Home Buyers and Sellers. If you don't have a copy, there's a link here on the page. Order it. It's really good. Lots of good resources. But let's look at the Exhibit 7.1. How do people find their agent? How do sellers find agent? Now look at these statistics. Referred by friend, neighbor, or relative, 41% of the sellers. By far the biggest group of people, the most profitable, most effective source of all the listings in your neighborhood, referrals. And it's even higher with first-time sellers. People who are selling for the first time, 47% selected their agent because it was somebody who got referred by a friend or neighbor or relative. So clearly the statistics show that there is no method that generates more listings than referrals. And it kind of makes sense if you think about it. People always pick an agent they like, somebody who they respect, and they trust the most. And the cool thing about referrals is the trust, at least some level of trust. and credibility is already built in most cases. One more statistic I want to show you. This is from the United States Census Bureau, from their report. According to this number, look at this, 35.7 million people, estimated number of people who move every year. That means in the next 12 months, there'll be 35.7 or so million of us who will move. That's really good news. That's a lot of people. There's a lot of opportunities all around you. Now, let's do some numbers. Now, I got to warn you. I am not the greatest when it comes to math, so check my math, watch me make sure this makes sense. Now, again, these numbers will be very different for you. But for illustration, let's look at these. Let's say you have 250 primary connections on your sphere. This could be your close friends, your family, people who know you, people who like you, people who know you're in real estate. So let's say we just start very conservative 250 SOI connections. And given the numbers you just saw from the Census Bureau, 12% of those will move. So about 30 people in that circle of your friends and relatives will move. Now let's again be very conservative, and let's say out of those 30 people, you convert 25% into leads. That means you end up with 7 leads of potential moves in the next 12 months. You with me so far? Pretty simple stuff, right? Now, those 250 people know other 250 people. That means if we multiplied, we have 62,500 connections in a primary and secondary. Now let's say those people, there's some overlap. They know same people. So I'm going to subtract, be conservative, subtract 50%. That leaves with 31,250 potential connections. Now, let's be again very conservative, and let's say only 10% of those conversions will be leads. So that's 375 leads, potential people who will move in the next year or so. Cool thing is, you don't need a database of 62,000 people. You only need connection to the first 250. Then we're going to nurture that connection and build a secondary connection through them. And in this course today, you're going to learn how to do that. So let's talk about business. So that means potentially out of 250 connections in your sphere, you're having access to 382 potential leads. And again, being very conservative, I would calculate 10% conversion of those leads, so that means 10% will convert into transactions. In my area, that would represent about $653,000, $315 in commissions. Not that bad. Now, again, your numbers, very different, your commissions, very different. These are hypothetical numbers. But based on the statistics, you can now see the opportunity sitting right there in front of you. Because at the end, the people who will move will be looking for a competent, good agent, somebody who can help them, somebody who they can trust. And that's the key word. We're going to talk a lot today about trust. There are some requirements, though. Before we get into the actual systems, 3 things I assume you have in place. Number 1, you must be a good, competent agent. None of that would matter. None of this really would do you any good if you suck in real estate. So I want to I assume since you're taking the path with me and you've been at it, whether you're new or not, doesn't matter. This is not years of experience. This is the level of service you can provide, your competency. Second, you must have an honest, genuine desire to help people. Yes, you want to get paid. Yes, you want to make money. You want to put food on the table, provide for your family, build that cool lifestyle, that vision board you put together on chapter 1. But beyond that, there must be a drive to be really cool, do well by your clients. And the third requirement is this will require a robust contact management system, good CRM. Whether you're using LionDesk, you're using Realty Juggler, any of these will do the job, but you need a central place. It's going to be like a central depository, like a warehouse where we're going to put all these connections so that we can nurture the relationships with them. If you don't have one, please pause this video right now. Seriously, pause this training right now. Decide which one you want to use, or use a couple of them, see which one you like, but start using one. You cannot make this work without being organized and having some kind of electronic central system where we can put all these. Groovy? Okie dokie. So that's part 1. Part 2, let's talk about psychology. Let's go over psychology of referrals so you understand how the dynamics work. Because once you understand the dynamics, it will make the process and the influence. Now, we're talking ethical influence, of course, not some shenanigans and some manipulation. It will all make a lot easier. So, let's assume you have an acquaintance named Jim. And Jim has a friend, Diane. Now, Jim knows that Diane wants to sell her condo. Jim also knows that you're in real estate. Jim will refer Diane to you, but not as a favor to you. It's because Jim wants to help Diane and look cool in her eyes. It's because it will make him feel better. When you discover, let's say, a great new show, or a great new sushi restaurant, or a great new movie, anything great, you want to share it with the world, right? Like, my wife and I went to a concert last night. We saw Pink last night in concert. If you ever had a chance to see her, it's amazing. Now, we want to tell the world. I posted on Facebook, Hannah posted on Facebook, we posted on Instagram. We want everybody to know this was awesome, we really enjoyed it. You do the same, right? You put a review on Yelp, you post pictures, but you don't do it, it's, let's say, with a restaurant, to benefit the owner, or like we didn't do it to benefit Pink. We do it because we want our friends to come back and tell you, awesome, thank you. You know how many people chime in, I saw that concert too and it was amazing, or I went to that restaurant, it was great. Somebody wants to chime in, I love that show, we watch it too. What we create is a bond over the experience. So this has nothing to do with the television producer or with the restaurant owner or whoever you're talking about. This has everything to do with the relationship with the people around you. You refer, we all refer things and services to other people because it raises our status in their eyes. It feels good. It gives us a sense of significance and contribution and builds connection. This is vitally important. So as you start building a system, as we do this together, build the system, you understand that people will not do it because they want to do you a favor. They do it for a very different reason, because it feels good for them because of the sense of significance. Does that make sense? I think it does, right? And if you look at how you refer things or how businesses refer to you, you see that pattern now, don't you? All right. So now, how do you do? Let's measure where you are right now. And where you are. This is not to judge, but this is to evaluate so that we know what we need to look at. So take this real quick evaluation. Make it real quick. 1 point, very low, very poor. 5 points, total rock star. Where are you? When it comes to likability and status, rate yourself. How do you think you're being perceived when it comes to your status and likability? What about your reputation as a real estate professional? What about your communication skills? And how about the system you have in place right now to generate referrals? Rate yourself right now, add it up. What is your score? Got it? All right. Now here's the second part. This is going to be kind of fun. What would you say your clients' opinions were, especially when it comes to your likability, reputation, and your communication skills? Where would they rate you? Now, as far as your score, you should be somewhere in 20 to 25 range. That's ideal. If you scored 3, 2, or 1 on any of these, you know what you need to focus on. It may be your status, it may be spreading the reputation, maybe your communication skills need a little work, or maybe we need to build a system, which is what you're going to do today. But you need to know where you are. That's the first part of the evaluation. The second test I want you to take is a grocery store test. Let's say you're in a grocery store, you're in the cereal aisle, or where are we? No, we're in cookies aisle. Ooh, yummy. And you're shopping, and suddenly there's a familiar face. How many people in your sphere could you walk up to, know their name, know their situation, who they are, where they live, family, and have a friendly conversation? Or better yet, how many people in your sphere would walk up to you, know who you are, what you do, and have a friendly conversation with you? Be honest. Is it a lot? Is it very few? Nobody? Tons? That needs to be your focus. Because the more people are willing to walk up, strike a conversation, feel comfortable around you, feel connected to you, the more business you get as a result. Which is, we're building that here. We're working on it here. And then finally, how many referrals did you get in the last 12 months? How much of your business is coming in? Because that will indicate something you're doing well, if the number is pretty good. And pretty good depends really on where you are, how many deals overall you close, and where you want to be in the next 12 months, which is your goal. How many? What percentage of your business right now are referrals? Are you happy with it, or can you do better? Now, I have a hunch that the reason you're studying this material here with me today because you want to do better. How many people do you have in your database? I'm not talking prospects here. We're not talking leads here. We're talking your spheres. It could be your past clients, your friends, your relatives. That's what I'm talking about. And then finally, how many new names have you added in the last 30 days? Do you have anything in place that is expanding your database? If the answer is no, sit tight, we'll build it. If the answer is yes, I already do something, excellent. I don't want you to replace or remove something that's already working. That's not the idea. The idea is to make it a systematic, repeatable, duplicatable process that predictably produces results. That's our goal here. The base principle, the quadrant of referrals, are 4 things. These are the 4 things that everybody must know about you. If you're getting referrals, that means some people already know these 4 things. If you're not getting referrals, 1 or maybe 2, maybe 3 are missing. So here it is. First of all, everybody must know who you are. Second, they must know what you do. Third, they must know how to get in touch with you if they need your help or they know somebody who does. And then number 4, and this is really the foundation of it all, why you can be trusted. So if I knocked on your neighbor's door 2 homes down from you, would they know who you are? Would they know what you do? Would they know how to get in touch with you and why they can trust you? Why you're the right person? Now, when we talk about trust, we're not talking about just the traditional solicitation of referrals. I had a friend named Robert. Robert and I worked together in an office. We were good friends back then, 2 single guys just doing our thing, learning the business. And then we kind of separated. I went to Remax, Robert went his own way, and we kind of lost touch with each other. And after about probably 7 or maybe 8 months, maybe a year, my phone suddenly rang, and it was Robert. And I was so happy to hear from my buddy Robert. And he said, why don't we grab a bite? Come to my house. I want you to meet my new fiance and check out my new place. I'm like, dude, you're doing great. That's awesome. Would love to see you. And I come to Robert's house. And surprisingly, in his driveway, there were like 4, maybe 5 cars. And I thought, I didn't know this was going to be a party. I thought it was just going to be 2 friends and his new fiance getting to know each other and just hanging out and talking about good old days and all that. Well, it turned out to be an Amway meeting. I got bamboozled and ambushed by Amway salespeople trying to recruit me. Now, I have nothing against Amway, although I'm not a huge fan of MLM, but that was just bad. That was not bueno. So I don't want you to ever go Amway on people. You know what I mean? Suddenly now that you're in real estate, sending them annoying emails and texts, and people suddenly don't answer, don't respond, and you're going to ruin a lot of friendship and relationships. No need to. So let's not do that. Don't go Amway on your sphere. On the other hand, if you really analyze referrals, it's a win-win for everybody. It is a great thing because the client, whoever wants to move, a buyer or a seller, they want a good agent on their side, somebody they can trust. Now, your sphere wants to help out. By nature, we want to help each other out, especially if we have a relationship with that person. You, as a good agent, of course you want to help. So what's missing here is the system. If this is not working predictably, that's the part that's missing. Now, let me remind you, this is not a system. This is not a freaking system. Putting a tagline in your email, by the way, I'm never too busy for your referrals, or putting those hearts and all that nonsense, please don't do that. Don't be needy, don't beg for business, don't go cheesy. Don't do any of that. It's a hokey sales shit. You don't need to do that. Don't ruin the branding and the level of professionalism and a status that you have already established. And if you haven't established it, we're going to do that, but not by this. Bueno? All right. Let's move on to the next one. Let me have a sip of this lovely espresso. Are you checking your email signature right now to make sure you don't have that cheesy, I'm never too busy for referrals? You wouldn't be the only one. There are a lot of guilties out there. Now let's talk about your database. We're going to divide your database into 2 groups. First will be your inner circle VIPs. This is your golden ambassador group. These are the people you're going to treat like gold because they're worth a lot to you. A lot of business, a lot of connection. So these are your family, members of your family, immediate family, all your close friends, your past clients, and your neighbors. Now, with past clients, maybe you're like me, had some transactions that were not exactly stellar, not exactly smooth sailing, and you hit some rough spots. Even those can be converted into ambassadors. And I can tell you how many times I didn't feel like calling back a past client because the transaction kind of went sideways, and I thought they would still be pissed at me. They weren't. They weren't. They appreciated my hard work and my effort and understood that certain conditions and circumstances really were behind my control. A little bit later, I'll show you how you can reconnect even with those you dropped the ball on or you feel like they may not necessarily want to talk to you. If they don't, that's fine, but at least reach out. I'll show you how in a moment. So this is going to be your VIP group. That's the first one. The second group will be everybody else in your sphere. Now, here's the cool thing. Whether it's your car mechanic, your dentist, all the PTA members, your housekeeper, your relatives, buddies from college, the guy that delivers your mail, all your acquaintances. Every one of those people either can be a potential client, maybe right now, maybe in the future, or they know somebody who can be. Remember the numbers we ran in just a moment ago. 30, what was it, 35.7, something like that, right? 12% of the people will move. So anybody around you, maybe not today, but you never know. Jobs can change. Things can change. Marriage can change. Health can change. There are all these factors that sometimes very rapidly and very dramatically shift one's situation, living situation, where all of a sudden, today they don't want to move, tomorrow can be a completely different story. We will focus primarily, actively on the inner circle, but we will not ignore the sphere at all. Because at the end, all of these folks can help you. Now, I have a little tool for you. You have a PDF download right here on the page, but there's also a checklist that came in the book that looks like this. This is the Ultimate Sphere Database Builder. I would like you to go through it step by step and input every single potential member of your sphere, whether it's your friend, your relative, your uncles, doesn't matter. Everybody will go into the database. But what if your uncle, well done, Borino. What if your uncle lives 3 states away? If you feel that nurturing that connection may result in business, or just be cool to somebody you like and somebody who likes you back, I would still include them. If you feel like, no, we really don't have any connection and they live so far away, I don't think there would be any benefit, that's fine. Use your judgment. Primarily, of course, you want to stay within an area that you serve as an agent. But sometimes you'd be surprised how people living 1,000 miles away can still support your business, or maybe move to the area or know somebody. You just never know. Get going on this. Start inputting names of all the people. You can scrub your Christmas card list, your phone book, your phone, your address book on your phone. All these sources will help you jog your memory and start collecting the data. Start inputting it into one central place. So you don't have past clients in one box, other people on your phone, the other people on social. You want it all in one place. Make sense? Next step is you're going to comb through all your social connections and move them again into your CRM. This CRM will be your money hub. This is where we're going to organize, control, and execute all these campaigns, all these initiatives to communicate, to reach out, to nurture the relationship, and to store the notes about the people. That's very important, because the more you know about the people in your sphere, the more personalized your communication can be with them, the more personalized the offering, how you can help them will be, and the better you will be prepared for these conversations with someone where you can ask very specific questions about the family, about the circumstances, about anything that matters to them. Now, we'll talk more about that a little later, but just for now, remember, everything we do supports their needs, their desires, their circumstances. Because once you satisfy those, man, it's going to come back to you. But we got to start with them. And in order for you to know what it is, you need to have a place where you're going to store it. Está bien? So have a good CRM. Learn how to use it. Most of these systems like LionDesk and Realty Juggler and Top Producer, it's not that hard. You're going to spend a few days to take a tinker around, make sure you get the hang of it, then you're up and running. There are 3 pieces of information we need: cell number, email, and address. Those are the 3 core elements. 3 pieces. Everybody have their cell number, email, and address. Now, maybe you don't have all 3, that's fine. Your database will be a living, breathing thing that will be constantly shifting and changing. If the information is missing, just do the best you can with what you have. Start with that. Put their name there, their cell, email, address, if you have it. If you're not, simple text or a phone call is all it's going to take to say, hey, Joanne, hope you're doing well. Wanted you to have my current cell number just in case. 800-573-8492. By the way, what is yours? Oh, and say hello to Rick. Most people will have no problem responding and letting you know. Keep it simple. In Chapter 1, we talked about Drunken Monkey. A lot of the stuff I may suggest today will trigger Drunken Monkey going, this will not work because. I cannot do this now because. This we will do later because. And all these reasons, shut it up. Put it on your calendar, get it done. Neighbors. Good source of business. Let's start with your immediate neighbors. Do you know their names? Do you know what their names are? How about their kids' names? How about their kitty's name? Do you know their cat's name? How about their phone number and their email? Now, very often, you probably don't. Like, I only know in our neighborhood probably 3 or 4 neighbors, including their emails and phone numbers, and we do that to support each other when one of us goes on vacations or travels, so we can reach out. Start collecting data. How? Here's a simple way. Ask. Talk to your neighbors. Because why? Statistics. 1 out of 12 of your neighbors is probably thinking about moving. Who can help them the best? Well, their friendly neighbor, of course. You have the neighbor advantage. The fact that you live in the neighborhood and you're familiar with it separates you from the competition huge. It's a huge separator because there's, again, a level of trust built in. Besides, you can turn one listing in your neighborhood into more. You can do open houses, you can do promotions, there's all kinds of things you can do. Use the exposure to connect and to expand reach through your neighborhood. You should own your neighborhood. You should get the majority of the business around you. It always pissed me off when another agent scored a listing in my neighborhood because I felt this is my neighborhood, this is my territory, motherfucker. I'm going to control it. Nobody has the right to take listings here. And every time I lost a listing or didn't get it, it was evidence that there was somebody who didn't like me enough, who didn't trust me enough, who didn't know who I was, what I did, or how to get in touch with me and why I could be trusted. Every single time. Now, I hated it. I hated knowing it, but that's the reality. Own your neighborhood. And if you don't, if there are other agents who come pick listings for listings that should be yours, let's fix that. Best way to do that, go meet your neighbors. It's easy, it's fun. Remember, because everybody's a potential client or they know somebody. So go have a friendly chat. Conversations build connections. It may be a little uncomfortable at first, a little awkward at first, but go easy. Just smile and say, you know what, I've been living here for 5 years and I apologize. I haven't had a chance to introduce myself. My name is Borino, what's yours? And then just ask some questions. This is not about being like a politician passing out flyers or business cards. Don't do that. This is about a neighbor meeting a neighbor first. One human being talking to another human being first. Business will come later. There'll be time for it. First, they need to know who you are. That's step one. So go meet your neighbors, have some chats, get to know them, write down their names, their emails, exchange information. You never know when that will come handy. This is one of the most important strategies in developing the muscle of referrals. It's a skill. All this stuff I'm teaching you today, all the stuff we're going to work on, all the stuff that I put together or I implement in my business is a set of skills. You don't need to have any magic powers. You don't need to have any special attributes or qualities. It's all just a set of skills. But the core one, in order for the referral business to really flow to you, is be social. Because real estate is still a people business. That's the biggest secret of endless stream of referrals, being a people person. Why? Because this is a people business. So if you enjoy other people, if you're genuinely interested in others and you like their company, if you appreciate an interesting conversation, if it's not about you and your problems, I know sometimes we like to talk about us, but if you make it about them, then you're halfway there. Be social. What that means is if there's a neighborhood party, go. If you get invited to a barbecue, go. If you want to throw over a little barbecue party and invite a few people, do it. Baby showers, little league parties, pool parties, church luncheons, karaoke nights, game nights, or just drinks with neighbors and friends. I'll show you later examples of events you can put together and get plenty of business as a result. But whenever you have an opportunity to interact, to connect with others, do it. Next, remember, like attracts like. To expand your sphere, expand it with people who have already something in common with you. That makes the common ground, makes things a lot easier. There are a lot less barriers, a lot less awkwardness, a lot faster connection. So, if you belong to a church or a synagogue, use that as a platform to connect with people. Sports events you go to, you have a sports teams you like. Even if it's here in DC, you know, our football team, not the greatest, but it is what it is. You belong to a gym, health club, or a spa. You like a charity events. You go to fundraisers, political causes, or just a good old golf course. It's still a good place to drum up some business. So go hit a few balls, talk to people. It really can be that easy and that simple. But they need to know 4 things: who you are, what you do, how to get in touch with you, and why you can be trusted. The trust will come. The trust is not something we can sell them on. The first part is easy. You introduce yourself, you ask, what do you do for a living? Be interested in them first. Because during the conversation, what do you think is one of the questions they're going to pop back? What about you? What do you do? Well, I help home buyers and home sellers right here in insert your area, buy and sell homes. And then you stop. You don't go any further. Do you know somebody or are you interested? Don't do that, because that will position you as a salesperson right away. Guards go up, your status goes down, and very often you can't recover from that. So that's not necessary. You simply continue the conversation. How long have you been playing golf? Or how do you know the host? Or what's your favorite barbecue? Any of that. There'll be time for business. Not first, but later. We go into more details in the book, so please do read it. There's an entire section, how to have these pleasant, relaxed conversations with people you just met, and how even those who are interested in real estate, you don't destroy the relationship that you're building, you do it in a cool way. So please do read that, okay? Here's the idea. Constantly keep expanding your connections, because everybody's a potential client or they know somebody. Everybody. Even if today they'll tell you, well, we lived here for 20 years and we're going to die here. You'd be surprised how quickly life can change, how circumstances and conditions can change. So nurture those connections, nurture those relationships. Let's talk about follow-up. It is not necessarily getting leads. It is not necessarily start building the bridges, the connections. That's the biggest obstacle. You know where most agents drop the ball? Yep, follow-up. Follow-up is the foundation. Follow-up is where the conversions happen. Follow-up is when they start trusting you. Not just know you, but trust you. Trust you enough to tell you, my mother-in-law wants to sell a house, or my brother is interested in buying. Where they trust you so much, they're willing to put their relationship with somebody who they love or respect, or both, on the line and hand it on to you. You already know that the foundation of your success is the trust. People do business with you because they like you, they trust you, and they respect you. People who don't do business with you, it's because they don't like you, they don't trust you, and they don't respect you. It's really that simple. I'm not here to hurt your feelings, but you need to be aware what the real dynamic is. It is not about the commissions you charge or years in a business. You could be in the business for 6 months. If they really like you more than the other agent, if they really trust you more than the other agent, and if they really respect you and listen to your opinion and your guidance, you're going to get business. It's really that simple. People who send you referrals do it because they like you, trust you, and respect you. But first, they must remember you. They must know who you are. So this is where the good follow-up comes in when you start repeating. I'm going to give you the triangle of trust in just a moment. But first, let's talk about the impact scale. How do you impact people? How do you make sure that they remember you, they know who you are, they trust you, and they know how to get in touch with you? Number one trumps everything else is personal conversation. That has more impact than anything else. And it has to do with not just our psychology, but with our neurobiology, the way we're wired. We were wired for certain elements of communication. You ever notice, like, you can have a conversation with somebody and they may be saying something fun and pleasant, and yet something is putting you off, or vice versa. They may be not saying much and just go, Jesus, I just like this guy. There's just something about him. That is because we're perceiving communication on multiple levels, not just the words. But there is eye contact, there is body language, there is posture, there is tonality, there's all these things that in person we are perfectly equipped to send these signals and receive these signals. So whenever possible, if you have a chance and opportunity, and you will get a list of things to do, have personal conversations. It is by far the fastest, most powerful connection, trust, and relationship builder there is. Right below that is a phone conversation. If you can just have a little chat with somebody on the phone, perfect. Next, texts, video, and personal cards. Now, these are not mass text or mass video. This is something that is intended for a specific person. Below that, social messages, especially Facebook Messenger right now is on fire. It's a great way to communicate with people, to reach out. Then there are generic letters, generic postcards, and mass mailings, not as impactful, obviously. And then the last one is email. Now, of course, every single one of these channels has a place in your toolbox. Every single one of these is part of the communication mix. Just be aware that email will never have as much impact as personal conversation. Why is that? Relationships. Relationships rule the real estate selling process. That's really the bottom line. So the good old-fashioned personal conversation builds relationship and trumps everything else. It's because real estate will always be a relationship business. That's why you don't have to worry about Zillows, and you don't have to worry about Redfins. You don't have to worry about these systems. Will they get some business? Yes, of course. But if you can develop a close personal relationship with your sphere, it's going to be almost impossible for some impersonal entity, even if with the budget and size of Zillow, to crack that. So here's what I want you to do. Every week, take someone from your inner circle to lunch, or even just for a cup of coffee, glass of wine, grab a beer. Now, this is not just to ask for referrals and bail. Be social, have fun. Of course, part of the conversation will be about work. That's fine. You can talk about real estate, especially if you're passionate about it, positive and fun, which you should be, obviously. You don't have to pick up the tab. This is not about buying the business. You don't want to skew the scale. This is about interaction, about two human beings enjoying each other's company. Now, here's a little, I don't want to call it script, but more of a dialogue. That's all you need to include. I know you're keeping an eye and ears open, and so I appreciate that. Not everyone is as lucky as I am to be able to build my real estate business of support people like you, and I very much appreciate it. Thanks for that. By the way, how is Sarah's soccer team doing? See how I acknowledged that if there is somebody who needs my help, they will send it my way. But I don't need to do any more than that. I need to do more begging, more direct selling. None of that is necessary. On contrary, the more I would include that, the more uncomfortable the other person would be, and the more they would see, oh, he didn't really just want to have a cup of coffee with me. This was all about just getting business. You don't want to do that. That would really damage the relationship, sometimes beyond repair. And maybe you had somebody in your family who joined, I don't know, multi-level marketing, and things were not the same, like my relationship with Robert. We never repaired it. So don't do that. Not necessary. Now, remember I said, maybe you have past clients where things didn't go very well, or you just dropped the ball. You simply stopped. That's possible. I'm just as guilty. I'm not pointing fingers. So let's reconnect with them. Why? Because you already know that everybody can be a potential client, or they know somebody. So here's how we're going to do it. First, make a list. If you don't have them in your CRM, we're going to put them in your CRM, but make a list of people you've kind of lost touch. Start from the top, which are the most neglected ones. Those are the people you haven't reached in a long time. And then, you know this was coming, right? Call everyone. Everybody. Everybody would get a phone call. Now, here's where your drunken monkey will say, what? Remember that deal, how it went sideways? And they went to jail for 17 years and they paid $2 million in fines? And we can't call them because they're going to hate us. They're going to hire a hitman and kill us in a horrible death with 7 knives. No, you just don't know. And until you know, you don't know. So here's a simple dialogue. You're going to call and says, hey, Jim, it's Borino. How in the world are you? I wanted to let you know I am still alive. Jim, I wanted to apologize for not keeping in touch. Man, life just got in the way. How is Susan? How are the kids? And you know what's going to follow? Short, simple conversation. Now, this doesn't need to be 20, 30-minute discussion unless you want it to be and they want it to be. Just a quick little catching up. And then you close with, you know what? I'm glad we had a chance to reconnect. Give my best to Susan. Would love to see you guys before another year passes by. Hey, if there's anything you need, please let me know. I'm here to help. This is one of the most powerful closing you can offer. Let me know if I can help. What can I do to help? It is that position of, I'm here to serve first. I'm not here to gain anything unless I can serve, unless I can help, unless I can contribute to your life in some way, in any way, really. So reconnect. Promise me you're going to do this. Not promise me. You commit it. You're committed to doing your best. You're my path students. So do this. Put it on your calendar, do it. Step 1 is the call. Some you will reach, you will talk with, some you will not. Step 2 is you're going to text them. Same text, super simple. I'll give it to you in just a second. Then you're going to email if you can't reach them that way or you don't have their current number. And the final step is a mail. So here is the text, or email, or Facebook Messenger. Hey, Jim Borino here. How in the world are you? Wanted to let you know that I'm still alive. Sorry for not keeping in touch. Call me when you have a second. Would love to catch up with you guys. Yeah. Nice and simple. Remember, the purpose of these is to reconnect and start a conversation again. Start the chat again. Start the relationship. Restart the relationship again. Okay? The question you constantly want to ask is, what can I do? How can I help? And you'll be amazed by the response you're going to get. You're in the business to serve your community, so don't forget it. How can I help? Now, let's talk about the connection in general with your sphere. Ideally, you want to contact everybody in your sphere at least once every 45 days. Ah, lovely coffee. One conversation every 6 months. More is better, but every 6 months should be great. And if at all possible, one face-to-face chat every 12 months. And again, I'll give you some tips how you can orchestrate all these so that they're not staged, they don't feel stiff or salesy, while people feel uncomfortable either just to reply, let alone show up. Now, for it to work, you must incorporate all of the channels, combination of everything.
Okay, right now everything is working.
Social media, email, mail, phone calls, all that needs to be part of it. You must incorporate all channels. More is better. Text, hot right now. Facebook Messenger, hot right now. Video, super hot right now. But never rely on a single channel. The more, the better. So with that, let's talk about the big gorilla of social, Facebook. Now, there were some turmoils lately. You must have heard, the news about Facebook, this, privacy, that. There will be some changes. There always have been changes, but Facebook is not going anywhere. It's still a great platform, and love it or hate it, it is the most influential social platform right now. Again, this may change down the road, but as of right now, Facebook is where it's at. We're not talking about running paid ads here. That's for another chapter. This is the social part of your business, building and nurturing relationship for free on Facebook. And Facebook is a fantastic tool for that. According to my man Mark Zuckerberg, the average Facebook user has 338 friends. Now remember those stats earlier? That means about 33 on average statistically. 33 of them are possibly moving, which is pretty cool, right? Now, Facebook is a connector and a communication tool, and a very good one at that. But just like any other tool, you have to know how to use it well. It's easy to get sucked in on Facebook and spend 2 hours scrolling through pictures of dancing cat and jumping fish and cute little babies. And the reason I know that is because I'm as guilty as you. But you know how so many sellers say, we have a friend in the business? You must become that friend. And Facebook is a fantastic, excellent tool for that. Here's how we'll architect it. We're going to use the triangle of trust. There are 3 elements to build that trust. Step 1, familiarity. First, people must know who you are and what you do. So, start with the About section of your personal Facebook page. We're not talking about the business Facebook page. I assume your contact info and all that is there. This is the personal one. We're going to use your personal account to nurture, expand, and deepen the connections and relationship with your sphere. So make sure it's obvious, quickly obvious, who you are and what you do. This is just one example. Roxy, you know Roxy, right, from the book and from the Path, super rockstar agent. Look, I look here, super easy. I know who she is, where she works, how to get in touch with her, all that available. So make sure your About page has as much information as possible. That's part 1. Since we have the familiarity in place, step 2 is building connection. We like people who like the same things as we do. Stuff like, sports teams, music, movies, dancing cats, or whatever. Make Facebook your connector with those who are like you, because like attracts like. So share your life. Your post must be interesting, engaging, fun, and helpful, personal. A little bit of business, a lot of life. So focus less on real estate and a lot more on relationship. Now, there are plenty of good examples. This is just one of many. My good friend and an awesome rockstar agent, Nick Baldwin, who is a total rockstar at that. He's following the formula of about 4 personal fun posts to about 1 business fun post. And he's really good at it too. Nick is really a champ. So follow him, check him out on Facebook. That's the connection part. Now, as a good marketer, you already understand that repetition creates familiarity and trust. That it's not just one-time thing. It needs to happen over and over. People need to start noticing you, get familiar with you to start building connections. So you do that through repetition. As people see your smiling face over and over, they become familiar with you. As they get to know you, the connection deepens and they begin to trust you. Now, this applies to all of your marketing, not just Facebook, obviously, not just social media. Here are the rules of engagement. Post interesting stuff daily. That's the repetition part. Like other posts. The more you like to interact with other people, the more they're going to see you on their feed, connection deepens. Share other posts, comment frequently, share client stories. That's the trust part. Other people trust me, so should you. We're telling that indirectly. And then reach out and make new friends. Expand the group of friends you have on Facebook. Make that part of your effort, active effort. Let's talk about the mail now. We got the social in place. Don't overthink it. Don't make it any more complicated. It doesn't need to be. It's not as complicated. It really isn't. There'll be two types of mail. There'll be one-to-many and one-to-one. Both very important, both part, again, of your toolbox. I want you to meet somebody. This is a friend of mine, a great agent and a great coach, Gail Zintek. You might have heard me talk about her. You might have seen one of her coaching sessions. She really knows her stuff. Gail's been in the business for about 13 years now. She has been nominated and won the Realtor of the Year in her area in Michigan. The cool thing is 98% of her business are referrals. Gail is an absolute rock star. She would win an Olympic medal if there ever was a competition for doing real estate on a referral base. Last year, 51 transactions closed as a direct result of referrals. Now, what I like about Gail's approach, and there are many ways you can do this, but here's the cool thing that she does. She only uses two tools, really. Send out cards and Facebook. Now, in the book, I go into more detail about send out cards. I'm not pitching it. Yes, we're affiliated with send out cards, and yes, I do get a check if you join them, but they even have a free thing where you don't have to pay anything. I believe that Gail's approach, using Facebook and send out cards, can really make a big difference in your business. Something as simple as sending a birthday card. Happy birthday, Jim. Hope you're having fun today. Let's grab a beer soon. Borino. Now, we're not talking one of those silly e-cards, and we're not talking posting on somebody's wall alone. You can do that. But let me ask you, when was the last time you actually received a physical birthday card in the mail? You know how much impact that can be, especially if it's fun, if it's from the heart, if it doesn't have 7 coupons and 3 business cards stuck in it. You know what I mean? So make it personal. Now, the cool thing about send-out cards is you can automate it. The system sends it. It puts like a handwriting font on it, so it looks really cool. But you can just buy them in like Walmart, a box of nice birthday cards, and send them. How you're going to do this doesn't matter. The fact that you do it is what makes the difference. Send people their cards. Now, if you don't know their birthday, 3 easy ways to find out. 1, you ask them, simple. Hey, just want to send you a birthday card on next birthday. When is your birthday? Put it on your calendar, put it on your system, put it on your CRM, send them a birthday card. Second way you can find out is on Facebook. You know how it has that section, upcoming birthday. And third is on LinkedIn, same thing. When people post it, when people put their birthday there, you can look it up. Here's another example of what Gail did. This is one of her past clients. Her name was Amy, and Amy posted on Facebook. It was 1 year ago today that we closed on our house. And she posted a picture of kids enjoying their new backyard with the snow. A lot of fun. Gail took those pictures, put together a card on send out. She actually did this on her phone, which is pretty slick, and put together this card. So happy to see you enjoying the snow. Thanks for letting us show you how happy in your new home. Happy anniversary and Merry Christmas to all, Steve and Gail. No business card. But the cool thing is back of the card is personalized, so that the person receiving it, in this case Amy, knew who they are, what they do, how to get in touch. Pretty slick. Got great response. By the way, the person that received the card took a picture of it, posted it on Facebook as a sign of appreciation, which don't be surprised if you do not do these things. Frequently people respond that way. Here's another example of what you can do. Simple card. Congratulations to Sarah on winning the soccer tournament. Great job, girl. Borino. Where do you think I got the information on Sarah winning the soccer tournament? Social, exactly. And people are proud. People are happy that their child is being recognized. Use these opportunities. And it doesn't need to be big. It can be a small little event. But you commenting and taking the time to actually congratulate them or thank them is huge. Here's another example. Happy birthday to your home. You can send it every year on the anniversary. Now, if you're interested, maybe you already are on Send Out Card. If you join, Gail will share her campaigns. We have all kinds of coaching for you. So the URL to join is sendoutcards.com/Borino. Like I said, they have a free package now you can join. Doesn't cost you anything if you want. You can upgrade it. They have all kinds of plans. Use holidays. Holidays are always a great opportunity to reconnect or connect or nurture. Just don't do that.
Science.
Don't do this. Make it personal. No logos, no bullshit like that, please. Send something you would send to your grandma. Something like this. Isn't that lovely? Beautiful. Halloween, Easter, there's all kinds of opportunities. Yes, sometimes you need to start a month in advance to set it up, ramp it up, but that's what it takes. With a little bit of planning, you can totally knock it out, and it's fun, and it's creative. Here's another example of what you can put together. VIP directory. I'm going to teach you how to use this also with expireds and FISBOs. This is also a great tool you can use not just with your sphere. You simply put together a list of people who are good at what they do. That can be a good real estate attorney, handyman, chiropractic, painter, electrician, all these that people, all these craftsmen who your sphere may find useful. You can put together a printed booklet. That would be my choice. That has the most impact. It can be a mailer. It can be even a magnet. I've seen some people create these nice magnets. Or, worst comes to worst, you can mail it as a PDF, email it as a PDF.
Thursday is actually
Here's another thing you can mail to your sphere to let them know who you are, what you do, how to get in touch with you, and why you can be trusted. Market updates. Even if people don't want to move right now, even if they don't want to sell, don't want to buy, they're still curious. We all are. I get these all the time. I have no plans of moving, but I want to check. What? Are you kidding me? Around the corner, honey, they got $2.7 million. They're out of their mind. So people are curious. It always gets attention. To make it more powerful, attach a little note. Hi, Jim. Here's a quick update on our neighborhood. I think you'll find it interesting. Enjoy. Now, that's a little presupposition, a little neuro-linguistic programming. Our neighborhood. Borino, your real estate agent. Please, P.S. let me know if somebody in the neighborhood may be thinking about selling. Nice, soft little offer. Soft little nudge. Small pictures, doesn't need to be beautiful design, doesn't need to be polished. A list of homes is good enough. Do the best you can with what you have.
We had done that already, right? And you got
Here's another example.
Okay.
When you start chatting with somebody, especially somebody you've met for the first time, and you tell them you're in real estate, isn't this one of the first questions they ask? How is the real estate market?
Okay.
So, you can put together a little piece like this. This can be an email or a mail.
Is this work you have to
The market is right now on schedule.
Okay.
118 homes
So
sold
then
in our
show me
neighborhood in
over
the
here.
last 6
Or show
months,
me on
whatever statistic you can incorporate.
literature.
With, and then upcoming season, just around the corner, more people are starting to talk about getting their house ready
Okay.
for
In
sale.
the meantime,
When you hear
also
somebody
check,
talking about selling their house, shoot me an email. I'll give you a free copy of my new How to Make Your House Show Like a Model Home in a Weekend Guide.
Why
It's
did you
packed with
submit
tips to sell for top dollar. Now, here's why that is important. Remember how we talked about people referring
Show me the other
services
one.
or things because they want to look cool. They want to raise their status. So you're not begging for referrals. On contrary, you make your friend or your sphere cool because you got this great tool that somebody would appreciate. How to make your home show like a model home. And this is what we're talking about. You have this. There's a PDF here, personalize it. There's also a Word document version, personalize it, customize it, and it's ready to go. It's a checklist, complete guide to make your home look like a new model home, impress the buyers, and maximize the sales price. So now you're offering something of value, not just an empty, cheesy sales pitch. Make sense? Next thing you can offer, just sold postcard, just listed. If you include a client testimonial, that's even better. Do that as much as possible everywhere because it confirms your status and builds trust. Remember the last part of the quadrant, what you do, who you are, what you do, how to get in touch with you. The fourth one is you can be trusted.
Okay, so how are we going to
When somebody else endorses your service, when there's another person who says, you know what, I hired Borino, you should too, it has more weight than you could ever say that. Third-party endorsement is huge. Or the fact that you just got the job done, you sold a home, indicates you're competent. So use this, incorporate these. Let's talk about events. First, a little sip of cappuccino. Are you enjoying this? Good stuff?
Okay,
Don't worry, we're going to plan this all out. And even though it may seem like there's so much to do, yes, it does require work. But once you incorporate this as part of a routine, and especially if you have a CRM where you can program these things, it's going to make things a lot easier.
Where is it?
When I showed you the impact scale, remember what was on top? Personal conversations, personal interactions, eye to eye, belly to belly, good old-fashioned people meeting. Events that I'll show you, you can put together, and most of them are pretty inexpensive, pretty simple, and fun, can generate a lot of business your way. A lot of agents use these successfully. You have a chance to meet people, be social, and generate business all at the same time while having fun. It is the connection while having a good time in a relaxed social setting that matters, where you're having a good time and people around you are having a good time. So whether it's having a barbecue, having a few beers, glass of wine, While working, generating business, that's not even working. You know what I mean? It's like being social, having a great time. How cool is that? So here are some examples. Mike Corin, who is a local agent, a friend of mine, good agent, puts together a client appreciation day. He does it every year. He invites his friends, they invite their friends, he invites their past clients, current clients, neighbors, family. Everybody gets invited. And it's a one afternoon barbecue in a local park here by the lake. His affiliates help out with the beverages, with the bouncing house, with the faint paint, some music, there's some food. Mike doesn't do a whole lot of work. That's the idea, because he has a chance to mingle, to chat with people, and strengthen the relationship, and of course build new ones with his sphere. Usually about 150, 200 people show up, and everybody has a great time. We've been invited, we've been through these, they're a lot of fun. Here's what's important. Mike and his assistant take a ton of pictures, and they also shoot video with people. Assistant takes pictures, they have all these photos, and then he posts them all on Facebook and he tags everyone. Then he sends thank you notes to everybody who shows up, people who missed it, say, hey, look what you missed, here are the pictures, we had a great time. Great way to nurture relationships and get business as a result. Second idea, you can put together another event, housewarming party. Do it about 30 to 60 days after you close the property. This is, again, a chance for your affiliates to sponsor, pitch in a little bit. Now check with your broker. You want to do everything up and up, no illegal stuff.
Did already?
Send out invitations about 14 days prior. Invite the neighbors. Hey, this is a great chance to meet your neighbors, mingle. Neighbors come in, I'm the guy who sold the house. I'm the one who's the hero. You know what I mean? You can set up catering. Again, doesn't need to be fancy or expensive. The idea is not to throw a lavish party with Dom Perignon. The idea is to be in a social gathering with people and have a good time. You want to crank it up a little, get a little palm reader, faints painting, caricatures, something that's fun. But, and this is important, have somebody appointed who will do photos and videos, because at the end, as you mingle and as you schmooze, and usually you get about the list of people that your client wants you to invite will be about 50, and about half of those show up. Usually, typically, the numbers will be different.
Did you submit it?
You are the rock star there. That means you mingle.
Okay, turn it.
You don't schmooze it. This is not about business card fest. You're cool, you have fun, you ask questions, you talk to people. And you take pictures with everybody. And the people who are not your friends yet, become your friends. People who are not on Facebook with you, become your connections on Facebook. Are you getting it? Do you see now how you're going to expand the network and constantly reach further to others? That's how it works. And it's fun. So you just mingle, you meet and chat with everyone, and then you and your staff help clean up so they don't get stuck with an after-party mess. And then you follow up with everybody with a personal thank you. You post pictures. Cool event, do these. You'll be surprised how much connection and how much business is possible to get out of it. Are you a movie fan? I know I am. Most of us are, right? We like good movies. So why not organize a movie night?
Yes.
Now there's a company who can do this for you.
Yes.
You can just do it outdoors. In the book, I talk about my man Nick, who puts together the movie Under the Stars, where they just do it in their backyard, invite people, which is great too. If you want to get a little fancier, there's a company who will create an event in your local movie theater showing the most recent movies out there. Now, buyer beware, we are not affiliated with them. I personally have never used them, but I've been to these events, invited, and they're really cool. They set up this table, you get to introduce yourself. If you haven't met the people, if you've met them, you get to welcome them, you get to chat with them. It's called a movie night. The website is movienightevents.com. Great opportunity, again, to say hello, chat with people. Last time I checked, and again, don't quote me on this because the prices may change, but to host it, to set up, to coordinate with the theater for 20 people is $500. Do your own due diligence, do check it out. It's a fun event. It can be a great opportunity for you to treat your VIPs to something fun and get referrals as a result. Next idea I'm going to run by you is invite 10, 15, 20 people, your VIPs, past clients, to your birthday party. Throw yourself a little party. You know, again, something informal. None of this needs to be super expensive or super lavish. Just something informal. A few drinks, maybe some hors d'oeuvres, maybe barbecue. The important element is to have a good time, to have a fun, being in a relaxed atmosphere. And you can just send a quick email or text, say, hey, just having a few drinks, celebrating another turn around the sun. Please join us. You can do it in a local bar. You know, sometimes they rent those private rooms where you can just hang out for an hour to meet people. Have a good time. Holidays are always a good opportunity to say thank you to people,
got you.
to connect
It's a
with
little bit
people.
different
Here's another idea.
here.
Small
This
token of
is in the
appreciation,
area of Little
give
Italy, and
away
got the Florida
pies.
University
Now,
in the Bronx,
you can combine like my son to support their music group. He is in a middle school right now, and
yeah, so
they do
if
these
you have any
frozen pies. They have a
interest
good deal on frozen pies, so we always buy a whole
continuing
bunch.
the conversation,
Maybe you can do
we
something like
certainly
that,
do
because
that.
now you're supporting a school, their music program, and you can pass these on to your past clients. So you can say, this is a small token of my appreciation. Thank you for being a client. Thank you for being a friend. I'm giving away Thanksgiving pies. All you got to do is just RSVP. Call me which one you want. We have 3 to choose from, and you can pick it up either Monday or Tuesday before Thanksgiving. We'd love to have a cup of coffee with you and chat in my office. People who use this, agents who use this, report to me that about 10% of people respond to it. So depending on how many people have you on your sphere, you can kind of budget and prepare for it. Great way. People come to your office, you say hello, you chat, you offer them some coffee, you talk, and next thing you know, they're going to be like, hey, by the way, you know, my neighbor, they're thinking about selling a house. They're looking for a good agent. Let me connect you two. Bam. And since we are on holidays, you can offer a picture with Santa. Wouldn't that be a funny picture? I love that picture. It's just hilarious. So you can set it up, invite a photographer, set up somebody who can do the Santa, invite people, same thing. You offer some cider, some hot tea, hot chocolate, some games for the kids. Great opportunity to reconnect or connect with people. Have a good time. Now, there's a whole list of things in your book.
What are you doing?
You can do different ideas. You can probably come up with another 15 or 20. Whatever pleases you, whatever you feel like would be a fun thing to do, just pick one. Don't overthink it. Put it on the calendar. Just plan it out in a very simple way. This is the campaign we're doing. This is the event we're doing. Here's how we're going to go about it. Make sense? Do this, and you'll see. You'll have fun, and you're going to help people, and you're going to get business. Now, once you do get business, here's the process I want you to follow. The first thing you're going to do is send a thank you card right away to the person who sent you the referral. Then call the person who was referred to you immediately, because remember, you're never the only one that they consider. So you got to move swiftly. Time is very, very important. So you're going to call and say, hi, Ms. Johnson, this is Borino. Susan Blake asked me to call you. I promised her I would get in touch with you. She mentioned that you're looking for an agent, you're thinking about selling. Do you have a moment? Can we chat right now? And you just ask questions, go over their situation. Once you list the property, keep your sphere informed with regular updates. Do make sure that they stay in the loop and they know what's going on. That puts them at ease, because no matter how much they like and trust you, there is that little part of their monkey brain that they have as well, thinking, I hope this dude doesn't fuck this up. I don't want to look like an idiot. I don't want to screw them or burn my boss or my neighbor or my friend. Yeah? So keep them updated. If things don't work out, just let them know. You know, we met, but unfortunately, I can't help them, or I give them the specifics of what happened. Send or deliver a thank you gift after closing. You don't want to buy business. You earn business. You get business because people like you and trust you. It is not because they get lavish gifts from you. So don't rely on them wanting to send you referrals because you offer them $100 cash. Besides, that would be, I guess, illegal. I'm not an attorney, so I can't give you legal advice, but I don't recommend that. But showing them a nice token of appreciation, whatever is appropriate for your marketplace, whether it's a gift certificate, a restaurant card, a nice gift basket, a bottle of wine, whatever. It's the gesture of appreciation that matters the most. And of course, invite the sphere, invite the person to the housewarming party. See? It's nicely connected together. Now, in Chapter 3, if you've done Chapter 3, remember what we talked about, how to set up the most profitable, most productive things that should be part of your objective. This is what I'm talking about. Contact your sphere. That should be part of your daily routine, is to connect, to nurture, to communicate. How can I help? What can I do? Yes, it requires work. There's no free drive. There's no free ride. There's no free lunch. But there is no victory without discipline. So you have to discipline yourself, first to plan this. Second, not to overthink it. Third, to actually do it. And then see what works, tweak what doesn't. Discipline yourself to stay with it. But first and foremost, just plan it. Whatever inspires you, without overthinking it, boom, slam dunk. So, step 1, your homework, input 50 names into your contact management system. Whatever you have is a starting point. I want you to immediately add 50 more names. Just use the memory jogger, the checklist you have, and do at least 50. If you can do more, that's even better. Second, mail 20 cards. Whether you want to go on Facebook or somebody's birthday is coming up or there's a holiday, there's always some holiday around the corner, right? There's always some reason to send something. Mail these cards. Whether you join send out cards or not, doesn't matter. Send out cards just makes the process cheaper and easier and more automated. But if you don't want to join, that's cool. I just want you to do it, because getting cards in the mail, especially in the day of electronics, the age that we live in today, where everything is electronic, everything is smartphone, everything is the good old-fashioned piece of paper that comes in an envelope in the mail has a huge impact these days. When was the last time you got a cool card, like from somebody's vacation or birthday or Christmas? You know what I mean? Unless it's that giant logo stamped over it, you're going to take a different approach. 3, call 10 VIPs, your inner circle, especially those people you have not communicated with recently. Do reach out. And then 4, create a monthly and a weekly plan. What do you plan to do? What would you like? What kind of event would be fairly easy to put together, would be fun to put together, and you feel like, yeah, I think people around me, people who know me would resonate, this would be fun. Then put together a weekly plan. How are you going to communicate with your sphere? How are you going to nurture the relationship? Because if you recall what we started with, 12% of the people are considering moving statistically. There's business around you. Doing this will tap into that business. So create a plan. Homework number 2, set up 1 weekly coffee minimum. Now, if you do more, that's great, but this is minimum. So once a week, you're going to meet with somebody, have a cup of coffee, have a chat, catch up with them. This will also be a good opportunity for you to practice your social skills and your communication skills, where they do 80% of the talking. Remember, in the core influence, I taught you the 80-20 rule. 80% of the talking is done by them, 20% by you. 80% of what you say are questions. Cool?
Okay.
Make a habit of calling your inner circle daily. Give an update, chat, ask questions, just say hello. Meet and chat with at least 5 of your neighbors. Little by little, I want you to completely take over your neighborhood, dominate your neighborhood. Nobody is allowed to take listings in your neighborhood. Own the damn place. Pick, maybe start with 100 homes around you. You know who those people are. You have connections with them. Nobody can take listings there unless you absolutely don't want them. But you should want it, right?
Take it easy.
All right.
Take it easy, please.
Add at least 1 name per day into your sphere. Minimum. Now imagine, some people will move out, some people will drop out of your database, but just, again, bear with me. My statistic, my number of abilities is limited, but if you can do 1 name per day in a year, you would have added 365 new names. If 12% of those people will move, that's what, 40 people? Potential clients? That's pretty good. That's only 1 a day. What if you could do 2? Can you do 2? I think you can. You're picking up your dry cleaners. That's a potential client, or they know somebody. You're getting your car tires replaced. That's a potential client, or they know somebody. There are people all around you. Keep adding them. Don't be afraid. Be confident to ask for their contact information. If they ask, well, why do you need that? Tell them, I just want to keep in touch. I want to provide you some cool, helpful information. I think you'll find it interesting. I'm not here to pester you. It takes some confidence, but it works. Homework number 3. Plan 1 social event. What would you like to do? Plan out your social media strategy. Now be careful, because it's so easy to get sucked into Pinterest and Facebook and YouTube videos and all that stuff. That's not work. Work is being strategic about it, disciplined about it, and then stick with it. And this one, probably the most important one, have fun. People are attracted to people who are having fun. Me teaching you this stuff, me going over this stuff with you, me being able to share and inspire and give you systems that I know that if you follow and if you do, will produce results, is so much fun. Watching you grow, watching the posts you post on the Path group we have on Facebook, watching you getting better at this, gaining more confidence, really understanding that once you execute these steps, it is not that complicated. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. It's not. Real estate is not easy. But it can be done. You can do this. And if you can master the referrals, boy, oh boy, they can really grow your business very quickly. Besides, you're helping people who matter to you. You're helping and working with people who have a relationship with you. There's nothing better than that, is there? Now, we're going to work on other systems. We're going to put together other systems. We're going to do other lead generation methods. But do this one, and if you do this one well, you can be on your way to 50 listings in 50 weeks and maybe more, which would be exciting, wouldn't it? Awesome. Hope you enjoyed this session. Coach Borino signing off. Looking forward to another live session with you. If you have any questions about this, which I'm sure you do, please either post them on the path, post them on the Facebook, or bring them to our next live session. I'm looking forward to chatting with you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching this. Rewatch it if you want. And I'll talk to you real soon. Coach Borino signing off. Let's go get him. Bye.